Welcome to a new episode of the Sporting Birds.
The house of all sports.
You already know what it is. We talk about sports all day long. You name it. It's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever it is. We're going to be covering, bringing you all of the new action. And this weekend, brother, we had a very, very crazy one.
Very crazy one with what? With NFL, of course.
Football, yeah, the wildcard round. We're going to be talking about all the results, all the games, and how they developed because there were crazy, crazy scores. Crazy upsets that we didn't expect at all. I think nobody expects some of them. Yeah, it was crazy. So we're gonna be talking about that today, and it's gonna be hella fun today.
Yes, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It was an amazing week, an amazing weekend. Wildcard round, football all over the place. A lot of different things that happened. We're gonna see what happened with the scores, what happened with some
and what's coming, right?
Some things that we were not expecting from specific teams, right? And a lot of different things you'll see. Today it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good show today, so let's go for it.
Stick for it because again, there were a lot of surprises. But before we jump into that, remember if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, drop a comment, drop a like, share it with your friends. You already know we are a community. We're looking up for all of those great comments, everything you have to say about the show, our predictions, because we're gonna be talking about that obviously in a second, how it went for us, but also for you guys. We want to know what's going on your end of the what is it? The other side of the camera. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But anyways, let's jump straight into the action because we had a great game. It started on Saturday, so we're gonna be going back to Saturday, and we're gonna walk through the entire weekend because, again, a lot of action.
Yeah,
right?
let's start with a game that had all of our expectations at top. We had an experienced quarterback against the rookie quarterback, the one that we were not expecting to make the postseason. And yes, you were right. You were right. CJ Strout, what a guy.
I told you.
What blood he has to play in postseason. Definitely something amazing.
Yeah, it's just one game, so let's not overreact. But if this is just a sneak peek of what he can be, man, he's going to be something else. Nonetheless, although I had my guy CJ Stroud as the rookie of the year, I didn't pick the Texans, all right? So it was unfortunate because there was a voice inside of my head when we went through the predictions the other day that told me something about the Texans, and I didn't want to listen, and damn it, I should have.
You always have to listen.
Yeah, because the Texans ended up winning that game 45. Listen to this again. 45 to 14 against the Browns.
It was amazing. I mean, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the Browns defense playing that bad. We're going to be talking about another defense that played awful on Sunday. But I didn't expect that from the Browns. And I didn't expect that from Joe Flacco. I know he's not the prime quarterback that we used to know, but I didn't expect that. And we saw some flaws, some misses he had, and boy, oh boy, that
cost him the game. And I think the biggest problem with the Browns, and we talked about this in the previous episode, I told you the key element here is going to be the defense, right? We all knew that if the Browns wanted to win this, it was going to be the defense stopping the Texans, right? Because obviously they, again, caught fire throughout the end of the regular season. They got the seeding, they got the home game. Everything was, leading towards the Texans at the end of the season. But again, I bet on experience. I bet on that defense, which was one of the top, 5 defenses in the entire league.
It was number one.
Number one
overall.
Almost the entire year, right? And so I thought that defense was going to be able to stop them. And again, it was all about CJ Stroud. But there is one other thing that I noticed about that game, which is the defense, specifically on the Browns side, was overreacting so much. And so that speaks great about the game plan that the Texans put together because they were running a lot of fake moves and a lot of play action, a lot of things that were going on that if you pay attention to the defense, a lot of the times they were just straight up going for that first whatever action that was happening with the Texans, and that's where they got beat because again, it was all fakes, and so that allowed CJ Stroud to work on deep balls and get people open. Like there was a lot of options for him, and that's another interesting aspect about this Texans team that teams will have to take care about or be worried about potentially is that they have plenty of options. They don't have a main target. He can throw to whoever he wants because there are multiple options. And again, I didn't expect the defense to be a no-show for the Cleveland Browns, and that was the major flaw in their game.
9 different receivers. So CJ Stroud threw to 9 different receivers throughout the game for 280 yards.
Yeah.
That's just amazing because, as you said, they have plenty of weapons. They are not just trusting somebody to take on the team and, show up. And so I guess that's part of the success that they had during Saturday. Of course, we'll need to see that again next weekend.
Yeah.
But it's something that me personally I was not expecting. Again, I'm surprised about that score. It was the first surprise, the first good surprise.
It was the beginning of the weekend, and it was already, for many of us, an upset, okay? And again, that pretty much started the whole collapse that happened throughout the rest of the games because it seems like that was just the beginning of it. But again, watch out for those Texans.
Yeah.
Teams will have to be careful because
now they're going to Baltimore.
Yeah,
they're going to Baltimore. We were talking off camera as well about this. And
CJ Stroud again, Lamar Jackson. What a showdown we're gonna be having next week.
A team that has nothing to lose and everything to win in front of them.
I had it here on my notes. I was about to say it, so you are on the same page as I am. Because I mean, the Texans are playing loose, and this first game is gonna give them a lot of confidence. Again, it's a young team, but they don't have anything to lose. So now the pressure is on, obviously, Baltimore. They saw these kids playing. They saw CJ Stroud, and they will have to come in prepared.
Yes. And they will have to figure out a way to stop them because that's not going to be easy. I know Baltimore's defense is really good, but they'll need to figure it out. And that's going to be one of the hardest things probably that these teams going to face. Given the motivation that they have, the Texans, right? Given the motivation that Texans have right now, that's gonna be something for the Ravens to be careful, right? Like they will need to be careful about that.
Absolutely. Everybody has to look out for these Texans because they are no joke. And like you said, Joe Flacco, it was a brilliant story throughout the regular season, how things
until Saturday.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate, but ultimately you can tell that, I mean, they didn't have any rush, so they were leaning towards passing the ball the entire game pretty much.
This is a team that you'll need to take a look closely next year, and we'll need to follow this team throughout the whole season because if they stay healthy, if they keep the core of the roster right in both offense and defense, this is gonna be a team that might be one of the best next season.
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
I know I'm talking about it's a long way, right, until September. It's a very, very long way, and it's another story what's gonna be written in the future. But they know and they have what it takes to be a good team next year.
Yeah, they have amazing weapons. They have amazing weapons. Obviously, we know that Deshaun Watson's potentially going to be back. Nick Chubb is going to be back. He is arguably the best running back in the entire league. So, I mean, they were missing a lot of their weapons, and still they had a successful, we can call it a successful season because nobody, again, expecting them to be at this position late in January. But hey, it was a great story, and we'll see what happens with Joe Flacco. I don't know if he maybe stays around. Teams start looking up. Is he gonna go back to retirement? I mean,
I wouldn't stay. I mean, he doesn't need to stay.
of course, he doesn't need to stay. He won it all already. I mean,
We'll see. I mean, that's what the off season will tell us.
yeah,
I guess,
yeah, yeah.
right?
But
I
it's
don't think he
interesting for
will.
him now to think that he can still play at that level and deliver at least
At a
partially.
regular season level.
But it's still pretty impressive, isn't it? Like after retirement and then coming back and
Yes,
still
yeah.
playing at a good level. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It's impressive. It's impressive, of course, but I don't think that's what you need to take it further, right? So
Of course
if
not.
if they are going to think on postseason, on not just getting to postseason, but also
Yeah,
having a
making a
good
deep run
run,
and competing
they
for
will
the
need to think about what to do with Joe Flacco in terms of not what to do. I know he's the one that's going to kind of like make the decision, but he will need to think of if he's willing to stay on the bench to shape someone,
yeah.
right? Or something like that. Because I would see a role kind of like that.
Yeah, and more of a mentor for
Yeah,
this case, maybe Deshaun Watson.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. Hopefully, whatever happens is positive. So
Yeah.
if he decides to retire, hopefully he enjoys the rest of his life now in his couch and watching the games. But yeah, we'll see what happens. That's Texans against Browns again. A little bit of an upset. I know Browns fans are probably devastated, but Texans fans are joyful. 'Cause
Oh, of course. Yes.
again, they are going into next weekend and they're going to be seeing the Ravens. Again, we're going to be talking about those predictions in the next episode. So,
The next one.
yeah, stay tuned for that. Moving on.
Another one that was. I had a lot of expectations on this game. Like I really had high expectations, but it didn't deliver, and it didn't deliver because of one team.
Okay. We'll see. Let's talk about it a little bit because it's
Yeah.
Dolphins, Kansas, prime time on Saturday. And yeah, Kansas pretty much walk over the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And
Easily.
even without
I would
having
say.
an amazing or great game, it was a pretty average game from Kansas overall, I think, or
Nothing
in my
impressive.
opinion.
Nothing impressive.
And they still won that 26-7. So what are your thoughts? What did you see on that one?
On this one, I was expecting Tua to be better. I was expecting the whole offense to be better. We talked about this last episode. I mean, the defense was broken, and we understood that. And we were actually expecting less from the defense because they kept them alive. The whole game, the defense kept this team alive. But the offense never showed up. They didn't go to play to Kansas.
Yeah,
I feel they stay in Miami. I feel they stay in
looking
Miami.
up for
Yes,
them.
I mean,
Holy.
what the heck happened there with Tua and his team? They didn't deliver. They didn't play well. They didn't make the big. They didn't have the big plays. They couldn't run the ball. I know they were freezing, but it looks like it affected even more than what you would expect.
Yeah.
And for me, that was decisive on this game. Of course, we can see it on the score, right? It's like only 7 points.
Yeah.
Miami scored only 7 points. So yeah, for me it was more about that offense that didn't show up. I was expecting way more from this team as well. From the game overall, I guess Kansas delivered. Yes, they did what they had to do. They were playing at home. They were playing with their people in a weather they are kind of used to it. Maybe not that cold, but they are used to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Kansas delivered in the right way. A team that I said it before, nobody wants to face Kansas in this part of the season. But Miami, what happened? What happened with you?
Yeah.
I have no
The
clue yet.
expectations
I'm
were
still
high.
trying to process that. I don't know what happened with Miami.
Yeah, the expectations were high for this Miami team all the way through the regular season again. But yeah, I think the weather played a major role, and they try to play through it, and they try to play the tough kind of like outside appearance of it, but internally and mentally, it probably wore them down more than we would have thought of. Again, in the head to head, Mahomes obviously beat Tua. It's just pretty clear. And again, Mahomes
By
didn't have
far.
a crazy game that normally we tend to see in the postseason,
It,
especially this
it
year.
was
We
not
thought,
the 400 yards
yeah,
game,
and
three
that,
touchdowns.
exactly that's what I was going. I thought that was gonna be necessary for Kansas to win this game and to win every other game they're gonna have potentially in the postseason. I thought we needed Mahomes to have that type of performance, but it seems like it wasn't the case, at least not this time. Obviously, we will have to see in the next round. It's going to be a different beast. We'll see. They are going to have to go and play at Buffalo. So that's going to
Buffalo.
be,
Yeah.
again, a completely different beast. But yeah, Mahomes had a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
He definitely threw the right balls at the right time throughout the entire game. Pretty impressive game by Rashid Rice. He was special.
Yes.
He was special. 8 receptions for 130 yards. And I told you this the other day, right? If they don't drop balls, they win this, right?
Yeah.
And they win against whatever team they're facing if they don't drop balls. Kelsey dropped like 2 or 3
2 or 3, I guess. Yeah.
easy, well, quote unquote easy, because obviously, I mean, you guys are the professionals, right? We see from the outside, we think that's easy for them, but who knows, right? But he dropped a couple of them early in the game, and still they won. So again, it's a Kansas team that, in my opinion, it feels like it's more built for this time of the year than it was for the regular season, because their defense is obviously great. They're gonna be making plays.
Yeah.
They're gonna be playing every game. So we know they can potentially stop almost every offense.
And the rushing. I mean, they run for 147 yards
Yeah, and just
against
Pacheco himself got
76.
yeah,
Yes.
90 of them, 89.
89, yes.
So yeah, it was a pretty impressive overall game. Everybody played their role in Kansas. I think that's what mattered the most, and it's just great. It's just great that Kansas is moving forward. You already know I love Mahomes, so I want to see him play in the next round.
in hell of a game we're gonna have. But
Yep.
yes, I guess for this one, they you might say they play everyone played their role, but I guess they play even more than that. They play a great game.
Yeah.
Because keeping Miami to 7 points, like allowing only 7 points for the whole game for Miami, for me that's something we need to take into consideration moving forward.
Yeah.
Right, when they go to Bills to visit Bills Mafia. But yeah, for me it was a great game from their side, because they did what they had to do and even more.
Yeah,
I was
100%.
expecting a close game.
Yeah, we all thought it was gonna be the most exciting game of the weekend, I believe, and it ended up not being that much of an excitement. It was still a good game again, but you can see it on all these stats. Like, just holding Tyreek Hill to 62 yards is, I mean, it's already a pretty impressive delivered by that defense. And I guess the ultimate lesson for Miami this year, and this especially during this postseason, is, brother, you need to win that division, because if not, you're gonna be playing in weather like this all the time. Like,
Yes.
And overall, as part of the AFC, you have all of the cold places, right? Baltimore is cold. I mean, Buffalo is cold. Kansas is cold. Like, even Pittsburgh is cold. Like,
Or, yeah.
whatever you go in January and February to play,
If it's not Miami,
exactly.
it's cold.
And so now you have and must win your division if you want to have better chances
Yeah.
by hosting games and now playing under your conditions. And again, they had that in their hands this year. Didn't do it.
They didn't do it. They lost it week 18.
Yep.
They lost it that week.
So
a
yeah,
privilege.
very unfortunate season or ending of the season for the Dolphins. Very exciting team throughout the entire regular season, and again, they under deliver in my opinion to close the season.
When it matters.
Yeah, it just happens. It just happens. Not all teams are built for this time of the year, and we saw it with the Dolphins at least this time. We'll see what happens with them next year. Kansas moving on, and again, they're gonna be facing the Bills, which is
Yeah.
obviously a
Hell
little
of a
spoiler.
game.
The Bills took care of their business as well, and they're gonna have a clash of clashes once more.
That's Clash of Titans, I guess, right?
It's,
I guess,
it's a
yeah.
clash of the
No,
Titans.
no, no. Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, you said it right. You said it right.
Yeah,
I
you
was
know,
just thinking that.
yeah. I
it's like-
got you, brother. I know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but for real, it's gonna be I mean, hopefully, it's gonna be a great game because we thought this was gonna be.
No,
a very
I mean
bad,
that's
and it
not.
wasn't.
Yeah, but
So
that one,
hopefully, the next one is gonna be a great game.
that one's not gonna let us down.
I don't
Definitely
think
not.
so.
I mean,
it hasn't.
the past, I don't know,
2 times it's been.
2 times
insane.
in postseason, it's been
Yeah,
crazy.
been
One of
insane.
those games that you remember. So
yeah,
I guess we're gonna have one of those again.
yeah. Crossing fingers on that.
Third episode
Yep.
for them.
So let's move on into the next one. Now we head into the Sunday games, and boy, oh boy,
I'm happy because of this. I'm so damn happy.
I mean,
I expect
90% of people, 90% of football fans are probably gonna be happy today.
I mean, for me, it was kind of crazy because I bet against Green Bay, expecting the Cowboys to lose. So it was kind of like roller coaster of emotions because like I was expecting the
Yeah, you
Cowboys
wanted
to
them
win.
to lose, but you didn't think the Packers could have pulled
Exactly.
that
I
away.
was not expecting this
Yeah.
as well, and this is the other big surprise that we had
Massive.
when, and it was even fun because I saw the score right. I was watching the game. Probably the first quarter. I missed the first quarter, so I was watching the game during the second quarter. Already 14-0. Then Dak Prescott happened.
Yeah, always. That's what
I
always
said
happened.
it. I said it before. Dak Prescott, right? And then I saw 27-0.
Thing. Yeah.
And I was like, I have to text Dylan. I mean, what the heck
You did.
happened here? What the heck's happening?
You did text me.
Yeah, it
I-
was crazy. But I was happy. I was jumping because I couldn't believe it. I was not expecting it,
course.
but I was so damn happy.
Yeah, as a Giants
Sorry,
fans-
Cowboys fans. Sorry, Cowboys fans, but you deserve this. Sorry.
Yeah, they talk a lot, and they talk all the way through the regular season a lot. They be muscling up on people. They'll be talking all the trash. Jerry Jones is coming crazy at
This
the media.
is
and
our
just-
year.
He's talking about how great his team is. Every year his team is better, even without making any moves. Somehow they become better, and
And so somehow they find a better way to
of
lose.
losing. Yeah,
Yes.
devastating loss for the Dallas Cowboys. It's one of the worst in the history. I think Jerry Jones himself said it during the press conference. One of the worst things that he has seen since being part of the sport, and I think he is completely right. It was outrageous of a loss.
I mean, we haven't said the score, I guess, but 48-32.
48 to 32.
48 points. They allowed 48 points.
By the fifth youngest team in the history,
The number
of this
7.
game.
The number 7.
the 7th seed, the Packers, and nobody expected them to be this good, this fast after Aaron Rodgers left. And boy, oh boy, Jordan Love,
Jordan Love.
it's coming in, and he's coming in
This
strong.
dude.
Holy, watch out for these Packers for the next few years, because if this is just, again, similar to CJ Stroud, but if this is just a sneak peek of what you can expect from this brother,
Yes.
it's going to be something else for these Packers.
Because this is different. I mean, we're talking about the postseason. We're talking about the time where legends are built. And I'm not saying they are legends. Of course not. Okay,
Not just yet.
don't
Right,
crucify me here, right? Like, they're not legends yet. but this is the way you start building your story if you want to be at the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
right? So for me, these type of things, it's what gets you started into that conversation in the future, of course. But this is the type of things that you need to do in order to be there. So
Yeah.
for me, Jordan Love, this is a guy I'm gonna be
We all have to start
looking at.
looking at
Yes,
closely
We'll
because
see how it goes for them as well. They have a tough visit, as well as the same as CJ Strout and the Texans. Jordan Love in Green Bay, in Green Bay, they're going to visit the San Francisco 49ers.
again a different beast,
I mean,
a different
a
animal at a
different
different
beast,
level.
yes.
This team is way more physical. The Niners are gonna come strong at the Packers, I bet.
Yeah.
So they have to watch out for that. But nonetheless, it was a great game. Aaron Jones also rushing the ball, crushed Dallas, brother. Like this guy, every time he sees a Cowboys jersey in front of him, he becomes a complete
I don't know.
nightmare. For
Usain
them.
Bolt, something like that.
It's
He just
crazy.
went. Yeah,
Like
just went
he
to
run
rush.
like crazy. He got what 200? I mean 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's Aaron Jones. Jordan Love got 3 touchdowns as well, no interceptions, 272 total yards,
16 out of 21
16
attempts.
out of 21,
That's impressive.
almost a perfect quarterback rating for him throughout the entire game. And Romeo Dobbs, their wide receiver,
Yes.
also a very impressive performance by him. 6
151
catches for
yards.
151 yards and 1 touchdown. Similar to the Texans, they have a lot of young weapons around that offense that he can target. So that's taking off the pressure because we saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers and when he had how am I forgetting his name? The Raiders receiver. Oh my God, and he's great. He was with the Packers last year. What's his name?
Wait, don't do this.
Oh my God.
Don't do this.
How are we forgetting about that name? Well, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes,
Drop it
yes,
in the
yes.
comments if you know who I'm talking about. Let's leave it at that. All right,
Gosh,
but
I
if,
hate when this happens.
if you
know?
remember, let me know, brother. Let me look it up here.
Yeah,
I might
I can
I
look
might
it
have
up.
to look it up. It's what is it?
But yeah, while you look at that, I mean, 8 different receivers he targeted during his game. I mean, Romeo Dobbs, those 151 yards, wow, definitely wow for him. Another wide receiver we might need to follow during this postseason, and then we'll see what happens. But definitely someone.
Devante Adams. There you go.
Devante
That's the name.
Adams,
Holy-
thank you so much.
Excuse us, okay? Too
Yes.
many names, too many stats.
Yes.
I mean,
We've
my
been
brain
reviewing
is not
these
that big, okay?
over
so-
and over.
Devante Adams, we saw. So going back to that point really quickly, we saw what happened with. I mean, when you have a top receiver like that, obviously you're gonna force a lot of the times the offense through him, right? And we saw it kind of during periods of the game as well with that Prescott trying to force it into CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
And on the opposite side, we had Jordan Love with multiple different targets, no pressure to throw it at any specific name. So he played loose. The game plan, similar to what we saw in the Texans game, it was perfect. Matt LaFleur and his team outcoached by a huge margin the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff. Mike McCarthy is going to be. I mean, his role with the Cowboys is obviously in jeopardy. We understand that he had great 3 consecutive seasons with 12 wins, I think it is. So, I mean, he has done very
thing
good.
with the Cowboys is that they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
They do
So
because of the
having
name, because of the
winning
brand.
a winning season, having probably winning the division, the best record, I don't know, number 1 seed, things like that.
Yeah, best
it
offense,
doesn't
best
matter
defense,
for them.
It doesn't matter.
It
bro.
doesn't
You
matter
have to
because
win.
they have too much pressure already.
Yep.
So yeah, probably his name is gonna be out of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there's nothing sure yet, but probably he's not gonna return to the
Yeah,
team. I don't think so. I mean, we all know the amount of patience that Jerry Jones has.
yeah, and
So
and knowing that again, it's all
and he's
speculation. It's we don't even know if the match is gonna be good for them or not. But we know Bill Belichick is out there. We know they're probably gonna try to explore that as a possibility potentially. So again, we'll have to see. But certainly he is on the hot seat right now. Same to Dak Prescott because he's heading into a year where he's gonna cost him a lot of money. It's gonna be I think it's close to 60 million that they're gonna own him next year,
it's a
and
lot of
they're
money.
gonna have to rework that contract for sure. Because if not, I mean, it's gonna get awkward towards the end of that. And if they want to potentially sign him to an extension, it's gonna be kind of a risk. Well, kind of no, it's gonna be a total
It's gonna
risk.
be a risk. I mean, he has proven as well that he is a risk in these type of
Yeah, he's a
scenarios.
regular
He
season
was in the
quarterback until now.
conversation of MVP, right, for the season.
Yes.
Definitely he was.
Yes.
But again, we go to the same topic we just were talking about Jordan Love. This is the type of games you need to step up and you need to put your name with golden letters if you want to go further in your career. And he has had the chance many times, not just this time,
Yeah.
right? He has he has had chance many times in the past. He had it yesterday. He blew it. He blew it once again. He's not able to win in January when it matters for a team like the Cowboys. So I'm so sorry for Dak Prescott. He's a great quarterback. He's just not amazing. He's not built to be a legend. That's just my thought. So if you take it to an extension, I mean, if you're the Cowboys, go for it. I mean, I would be happy if you do it. But if you think rationally, this is not the quarterback that you need in your franchise. If you want to win a Super Bowl and you're running for a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
basically. So and if it's not a Super Bowl, it's a failure for you. So go with a different option. That's it.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah, the question,
conversation.
the ultimate question becomes who is that option, right? Like there is not gonna be many quarterbacks that are gonna be ready to come in and elevate the Cowboys to the next level, right? So that's already a hard conversation to have. So it's gonna be a tough decision, and we'll see what happens with that Prescott because again, he's not gonna be a cheap quarterback. He's gonna cost him a lot of money, and that's gonna potentially become a problem because they have spent a lot of money in CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. Again, it's tough. It's tough to deal with all of that talent at the same time when they are not delivering because
Yeah.
you understand the type of talent they are, but you also need to take care of what matters, which is winning. And so if they're not winning, at some point you're going to have to turn the page. And I don't know if it's going to be right up next or if it's going to be in 4 years, but whatever happens, I mean,
The only thing is what's that they need to win because they're winning. They're winning during the season.
yeah, but the one and dones in the postseason.
They're a winning team.
is-
So if you're not able to win as well in the postseason, I mean, after 13 games, I guess it was the straight games that they had
The winning streak
in,
at home.
at
I think.
home,
Yeah.
the winning streak that they had at home. What happened?
And they blew it. Yeah.
I mean, there is something. There might be something.
yeah,
that it's inside,
it's-
either in their head.
It's hard to
or
say it's only
whatever.
one thing. Obviously, we understand the level of pressure that brand has, right? It's like playing for the Lakers. It's like playing for Boston, the NBA. Like those type of teams, immediately you'd have a ton of pressure to win right now, right? Like there is no tomorrow. So starting from there, it's not easy to find people that is going to have the right endurance and mindset to go through that level of pressure and still deliver, right? And so that's what I'm saying, that it's going to be tough for them to find somebody else to replace that Prescott because, I mean, he hasn't delivered when it matters, but who else can potentially be that? That's
But you know, with
Hard
that,
transfer.
you're not gonna win. You
Yeah,
already know with
and I
that
think
you're
that
not gonna win.
that's the biggest problem. And
So
I was
it's
about to say
either
that that what you saw with CJ Stroud and Jordan Love in this past weekend, I'm still waiting to see something like that from that press script,
exactly,
at least once in the postseason.
exactly.
It's what 8 years or something, 9, 10. I don't even know. I lost
I
track
guess
already.
like yeah, 8 years, 7, 8 years.
It's
Something like
crazy, and I haven't seen that. And it's not even like there is flashes of it. There is nothing. And when you saw that game, and early on, you started seeing the body language. You started seeing how he went back and forth. Well, you said you mentioned. I think you missed the first couple of minutes or whatever. But you started early on in the game. You started seeing how he and CeeDee Lamb started going at it because they were not on the same page.
Yeah.
The coaching staff were just looking around like, what's going on? Like everybody was lost. The pick six, it was terrible. I mean, everything that could possibly gone wrong for them, it did go wrong. It was so bad, so bad.
Yeah,
And they got
that's what
out
I insist. I
coached,
mean,
outplayed, out hustled. The defense, it was a no show. It's similar to the Dolphins offense.
yeah,
I'm
where's the
looking
defense?
for that defense.
Where's Dallas defense? I guess they're still at the airport. Like
I don't know.
I don't know where because they were at
bro,
home. I mean,
if you look at the replays, I mean, Jordan Love is throwing the ball in the air, and you see the wide receiver, whoever it was completely open. Like there was nobody else in the shot. Like it was, they had to
Yeah,
kind of
actually.
like zoom out to find a Dallas Cowboys player in the defense side of the ball because there was nobody. And I'm like, bro, how can you be this bad?
it's not. It was not even like the two defenders. I don't know.
Got confused? No,
Confused
no.
or clashed or I don't know.
It was-
Whatever. It was not like that.
It was so bad for a defense that again has so much pride in themselves. But I think we all got fooled. Again, it's just the fraud that we that the worst fraud in the history of this game, I think.
Yeah, but
Because of
thank
what,
you, Cowboys. Thank you so much. You made
yeah,
me
because
so
they're
happy.
I mean, they're beating the bad teams and everybody's getting hyped about it. And then when they face the real deal,
yes,
they just can't handle it.
They just can't. But thank you again, Dallas. You made my weekend. You made definitely my Sunday. So thank you again. I'll appreciate you forever and ever.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm glad that somebody is happy, but not only you are happy. I think a lot of people is happy because a lot of people hate the Dallas Cowboys, and it's just what it is, brother. You talk a lot, and that's what you get
Exactly.
for
And-
playing around.
And you know where also we have a lot of happy people in Detroit. We have
Absolutely.
a lot of happy people.
What
in
a beautiful
Detroit.
story. What's
Yes.
going on with Detroit? And that's exactly the next game we're going to be talking about because the Rams went over there. And in my opinion, that was the best game
It
of the
was
weekend.
by far the best game. I
It was-
almost got it. I
You
missed
almost
2
got
points.
the perfect score on that
Yes.
prediction. The Rams ended up losing to Detroit 23-24. Just 1 point
game.
tells you everything you need to know about how close this game was, how spectacular both Goff and Stafford played. And boy, Stafford is just a dog.
Yeah.
Like he was getting hit. There was a hit in the middle of that game that looked awful. Like it looks like
Yeah.
he even got a concussion or something. He probably did.
And his hand
somehow
as well,
his
and-
hand was swallowed. I mean, he was playing through it all, and he had almost a perfect game. And
Almost.
it was so unfortunate because I had the Rams, and I told you this: if the defense can show up and stop Detroit, we have a great chance. The defense didn't show up early in the game.
That was the problem.
It was the problem, and
They showed up later
Later.
in the game.
Later,
The,
yeah.
the defense that we were expecting. However, yes, at the beginning they paid the price. They paid the
Yeah,
price.
100%, 100%. And again, the game plan for Detroit specifically was focused on stopping Aaron Donald, and you saw it. He was getting double team, triple team. Sometimes it was. I mean, this guy couldn't even
I mean,
get close.
it's what you need to
and
do.
the only time they let the guy loose, he got a sack, I think, or almost close to a
Yeah.
sack. And I mean, it was such a show. I loved that game. It was so great.
It was a good game.
Again, I just wanted the Rams to win so bad, bro. Because Nakua had such a great game. This guy is a star
Nakua.
in the making.
5th round pick.
He is
I couldn't.
something else, brother. Like the catches that he's doing, and he catched the ball, and
Wow.
nobody can tackle the guy. It's so tough.
The amount
to
of
drop
yards,
him.
that's what I was going to say. The amount of yards that he gets after the first contact, it's impressive. He's definitely in the. I know you're going to tell me CJ Strout. I agree with you. He's the offensive rookie of the year, of course. But
Damn,
Puka
Puka is
Nakua,
so
he should be in the
special.
conversation as well.
He must be in the conversation, and I wouldn't be pissed if he wins the rookie of the year at all, because he did
He's not
something
going to.
very
We'll
impressive.
know how it works, but
I mean, he
He-
broke the 2 records. I mean,
Yes.
the records for most yards in one season by a rookie, and then the record for most single game yards in the postseason. 9 catches, 181 yards. 181.
it was the most we had this weekend.
It's just, it
Okay.
was spectacular.
Bucs against Eagles hasn't finished yet, but for
It
sure,
ain't no way.
nobody.
It ain't no way
is
we're
going
seeing
to have
anybody
181
dropping that kind of
yards.
number. Yeah, it's so impressive what he did on that game. And again, Stafford played an amazing game, 25 out of 36 for 367 yards with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Jared Goff, kudos to the guy because he went through a lot after the trade. He got to Detroit, a place that nobody had faith on for so many years. Obviously, the coaching staff have done a great job. Dan Campbell, kudos to him as well. He
Yes.
is taking that team to another level. And Goff's numbers were nowhere shy from Stafford's. 22 out of 27 for 277 yards and 1 touchdown. No interceptions. I think the biggest thing about the Detroit game was that they were pretty good at balancing things out with the
Exactly.
running
That was the
and the
point.
passing, and I think that got the best out of the Rams defense. Very effective early on in the game. Again, they got to the red zone, they scored, and the Rams didn't. The Rams
didn't.
got to
Exactly.
the red zone 3 times, came out scoreless or with a field goal or something like that, really short, and I think that haunted them for the entire rest of the game. And yes, that's one of the biggest key factors of why they lost. But man, that pass interference at the end of the game on Puka
Yeah.
was also
Everyone
another
saw
thing
it.
that marked
Everyone in the stadium. If
the game.
if you were a Lions fan, you saw it.
it was.
Everyone saw it.
Yeah, it was so bad. Everybody saw that. The grab was so clear. He got hit early as well, in my opinion, by the second defender. So it's not only one potential penalty, but 2 that they could have called and didn't. So I think the Detroit story is pretty compelling. I think some of it might have to do with the fact that they got robbed against Dallas just a couple games
Yeah.
ago. So that might be part of the equation here. But it could have changed the entire history of that game if that call is called as it should have, because it was now field goal range for the Rams. It was the 4th quarter. We were getting close to the end of the game.
Yeah.
They could have scored something out of it. And, man, I would have got my prediction right if that gets called. Or if they scored on any of the other 3 drives that they got close and didn't, you know.
They didn't. That's
God
the thing.
damn it.
They didn't.
But yeah, I think Detroit is gonna be favorite heading into the next game. They're gonna be at home. They're gonna be facing either the Bucs
Or
or
the Bucs, most
the
likely.
Eagles. Yeah,
For sure. The Bucs.
for real. Yeah, as we are recording this, the game is developing between the Bucs and the Eagles.
You want to know the score?
How is it looking now?
So it's 4 minutes, right down or left in the 4th quarter, and it's 32 Tampa Bay, 9 the
Holy
Eagles. So
moly,
the
brother.
game is
Yeah, so they blew my
Over.
prediction. The Eagles, I had some small little tiny faith on them, and yeah, I was a fool. So it's gonna
Yeah, a little
be
bit.
potentially the Bucks. It
I
seems
told you.
like. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
you got
we
it right.
can talk about it later, but
We are
I
gonna
told
make
you.
a count of how things went after we talk about the next game, which is Steelers and Bills, which was earlier today. A game that got postponed because of the amount of snow and bad weather throughout the weekend, but ended up playing today, and
And we were both right
we
on
were
this
both
one.
right. The
I
Bills,
missed it by 7 points, but you actually got it on point.
precisely the exact
Yeah, the
score I got it. You
exact
can go
scores.
back and watch the previous episode because I told you guys the Bills were gonna win 31-17, and they won 31-17 against the
Yeah.
Steelers.
My bet was 24-17, so it was also a close one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a game. I mean, it was the game that we were expecting.
Yep.
Nothing weird. The Steelers didn't have TJ Watt. I mean,
We knew
that's
that was
all-
gonna be the
that's
key
all
factor.
you need to say. If
Yeah.
you're playing against Josh Allen, you need TJ Watt. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to stop him.
Yeah.
He played very good, no mistakes. The Josh Allen that we were expecting.
Yeah, I think you said it the previous episode. If he doesn't make any mistakes, if he doesn't give away the ball, it's gonna be easier for the Bills to win. And limiting the turnovers was a key element. He did that just exactly right today because Josh Allen threw 21 off 30 for 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown as well. 4 total touchdowns for him.
And not just any touchdown, right? Rushing touchdown. 52 yards.
Yeah,
he ran
he's a show.
to get it. It was a show. It was impressive
A
for
walking
me.
show. Yeah.
Yeah,
He can do it all.
I-
He can do it all, and we understand that he can carry this team whatever he wants to carry this team. Obviously, it comes down to whether or not the rest of the team shows up when it matters. But if not, he's gonna pull something together and make it happen.
Make it
right?
happen.
It's
Yeah.
because that's the type of talent and how great he is. So
And that's why we're so excited about what's coming.
yeah,
And,
100%.
I mean, Bills against Chiefs. We said it before.
It's
That's-
Mahomes, it's Josh Allen, it's the type of showdown you want to watch every single day if possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was a pretty standard game. No, this is the only game that I think didn't have anything crazy going on. And yeah, it
Again,
was a pretty.
just what we were expecting to happen.
Yeah, because the Steelers
And the
were not.
Steelers-
Yeah,
Yeah.
They didn't have much to play with this
They
weekend.
stayed in the game. And for me, that was impressive.
But I think
because
that's one of the key elements that
They
the
stayed in the
Bills
game.
hit early because they went 14-0
0. Yeah. 14-0.
early on in the first quarter, and I think they never looked back, and that's it, right? Like if the Steelers could have stopped them early on, maybe, and we talk about it,
Or
if
score.
yeah, because we talk about it, if they can keep this within distance, could have been a different game, but the Bills came ready, they came prepared, they scored early,
No, and the
and that was
second
it.
half. The second half, it was a good second half for the Pittsburgh, for the Steelers. Of course, again, if you're already losing going into the second half, if you're already losing, you need to play a perfect game against Bills right now.
Oh my God, I'm about to die.
You okay?
Yeah, you keep talking. I'm gonna drink some water because
Okay.
I can die right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
None of this is happening. This is not live, okay? Well, it is. Maybe it's not.
Kind of, but it's not like so. But yes, I mean, you need to play a perfect game if you are losing. And they kind of played a perfect game until that last scoring drive that Bills had. If they could have stopped them, they probably, I guess, they had an opportunity.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, unfortunately for them. But it's another team that, with some bumps throughout the way during the season, making it to the postseason, of course, playing a great team as the Bills. It's a team that we might see shaping good for next year.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about Tom's last year, next year,
Yeah,
right?
I was about to ask about that. What are we thinking about his future? Because Mike Tomlin, it's in the air right there that he might or might not return, and it's gonna be an interesting situation down there in Pittsburgh. Because I think this team
He's
is
gonna
still,
return. I don't think he's not going to. I feel he still believes in this team and in the
yeah,
franchise.
of course.
So that's the fuel he needs to return.
Maybe it is, but at the same time, I guess the
Of-
question becomes, I mean, what type of moves can you make if you're Pittsburgh to put you in the next level? Because you know you have to compete every year against Buffalo, it's Kansas, it's the
Kansas,
Ravens all
the
over again. Like,
Dolphins as well.
everybody is putting great teams together, and it seems like Pittsburgh is just sitting there watching everybody make all the moves, and they just have in my opinion, again, just a pretty average standard team. They play tough defense because we know that's their culture. So you can always expect great defense from their team, but outside of that, it seems like they're missing some sort of like key factor, like X factor, somebody that can come in and just do a Josh Allen type of thing, right? Like,
Exactly.
and I don't know if they're gonna be able to get that in the next season, so that Mike Tomlin has extra motivation to come back, right? I think that's kind of where the conversation could be heading. What can we do so that we have a more competitive team heading into the next season?
I guess if he comes back, he's not gonna come back just for 1 year, and that's gonna be. I think he's gonna let everyone clear about this, that he's not going to come back just for 1 year, because I know his contract's just one more year. So we might see something baking in there. I don't know, organization and head coach.
Do you know something I don't? 'Cause
Negotiating. No, I don't. It's what
do
I
you
would
have
imagine.
the reports, direct reports, like your sources are telling you something I don't know?
But we might see something like that. And I think the franchise owns Mike that, and Mike owns the franchise as well. That they can sit together and negotiate for a longer period, or if they decide to separate
Yeah,
ways.
I think
But
they both do good for each other, right? It's
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's been what 8 or 9
it's a
seasons,
good
if I remember.
marriage already.
Yeah, I think it was 9. If I read that correctly, and if I remember the number correctly, because I couldn't even remember Devante Adams' name before, but if I remember this number correctly, I think it's 9 seasons, nine
Yeah.
consecutive seasons with winning records for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's something that tells you everything you need to know about this partnership and how well Mike Tomlin has done to this organization. And again, we understand he's one of the greatest coaches right now in the game. And I mean, he has still a pretty great age to continue working
He's
and
young,
coaching,
yeah.
right? So it's not like he's aging or anything like that. It's just a matter of whether or not, again, going back to my main point, if they can build something special for the next 1 or 2 years and turn things around quickly
Yeah.
enough for him to stay motivated and again engage in a longer term contract, I guess.
I guess it's a conversation we're gonna have in
In the offseason,
August,
we'll see. We'll see.
September,
Yeah,
around
yeah.
that.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned, and if you haven't subscribed, no, don't let me repeat myself. For
Just
like,
go for it. Just go for it.
yeah, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you're still here. We appreciate you, all the support. But I think that wraps it up in regards of the overall games that we saw throughout the week. Again, we are still waiting for those final
It's
minutes.
done.
Oh, it's done already?
It's done. Yeah. I mean, 32-9.
32-9?
That's the final score.
Final score.
Yes. So
So the Bucs are moving forward, and they're going to go
They're
to
going
Detroit.
to Detroit. They're going to Detroit.
That's
I
it.
mean,
That's it for the Bucs.
That's it.
Let me give it to you. That's it for the Bucs, I think.
Yeah. That's it for the Bucks, but that's it for the Eagles as well. What a season for the Eagles! What a I don't even know what's the adjective
Nobody
for
knows how to
this.
explain
I mean,
what
after
happened to them.
10-1, what happened?
They fell off the cliff like they saw gold at the end of the cliff or something, because they jumped straight for it. Like I don't understand what happened with the Eagles, and it's one of those teams that similar to the Cowboys could potentially see some shaking going on.
Movements there.
Could be in the coaching staff, or I don't know what needs to happen because this team, it was pretty promising. We thought that we were gonna see the Eagles coming back to competing every single year for the next couple of years at least, and I just don't know what happened.
I have no idea. Like I have no answers for the Eagles.
I mean,
Like, I don't-
the clear answer is the defense happened, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But nonetheless, we didn't see great performances from the offense either. Especially today, we were watching the
Today
game
was-
earlier. They
it
were
was-
struggling
They were
to get
struggling
first downs.
to catch it. They were struggling to.
They
make
didn't have
big
many options because
plays.
AJ Brown didn't play. And I told you, if AJ Brown doesn't play, it's pretty much a done deal for
They
the
couldn't
Bucs.
run the ball.
They
Only
couldn't run.
only 41 yards the whole
Yeah.
game. So definitely something they need to work on.
Yeah, and it's a team that, especially I think in the O line, it's aging, and so they're gonna have to try to do
Rebuild a
something.
little bit.
Yeah, they have to try to do something about it because again, if they want to stay competitive moving into the next season, it seems like this is not enough.
Yeah. And for the Bucs, I guess promising season. Again, a team that we were not expecting to see in the postseason. They made it. They played well, very good today actually. I know they were facing the Eagles, these Eagles, right? Not the Eagles we saw at the beginning of the season. So they were facing these Eagles. But yes, I mean, in Detroit, it's going to be a different story. However, they should feel proud because they had an amazing season. They have a bright future in front of them. It's not over yet. And we cannot say that this is over because this is the NFL.
Oh my
this
God.
is the most.
Bro, the cough is coming back. Okay.
This is the most competitive league in the world. So we cannot say
Yeah.
they're dead. But they're going to Lions, to Cinderella story. So most likely it will end and we will see the
Detroit
Lions
is gonna
win.
be favored because they're gonna be playing at
Yeah.
home again. They're gonna bring all the momentum after beating the Rams in that close game and playing an amazing game. And I think they're gonna be confident. Again, Dan Campbell is doing a great job of motivating these guys, and so it's for me it's gonna be
It has all the ingredients that you need.
yeah. And like you said, the Bucs are just a pretty average team that just got there because there was a spot in the in the division that somebody needed to take.
That division.
It's just what it is. Like,
Yeah.
so we don't expect much from them. Again, if they end up having some sort of upset, it's gonna be similar to the Dallas situation where everybody's gonna lose their mind if the Bucs win against Detroit. That could be a crazy story, but we're gonna see about that in the next episodes. So yeah, we have all the matchups, and let's make a quick recap in regards of our predictions because I think I think I only got two right this
I
time.
got 3.
Oh, so you beat me with this final
Yeah,
one.
I got the Bucks, I got the Bills, and I got the what was the other game? I already forgot. My memory, Jesus. I got the Lions as well.
Oh, you got the Lions. I only got the Kansas game and the Bills game, but I get an extra point. Don't I get an extra point just because?
Yeah, for the score,
perfect score.
Yeah, perfect
So you
score.
should call,
Yeah.
call that
Half
tie.
a point.
Let's call it a
only,
tie.
only half a point. So
I'll take whatever, bro. I got the perfect score in that, and I feel proud about that at least. But yeah, the Eagles disappointed. That was gonna be my third correct prediction, and damn it, nobody expected Dallas to do that. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah,
Every
And
time I
definitely
look
a nice
back at this, I'm
surprise.
gonna be laughing at this. It's just so bad. It was so bad. I
Thank you,
can't-
Dallas, again.
I can't believe what happened. But at the same time, I kind of, because I told you this the last episode, and now that I remember, I told you Dallas is always due to some sort of awful game. And this was it. This was a straight up the perfect example of that. The worst score
Jinx
you
it.
could get.
For them.
It's what it is. And it's still I picked them because it was kind of like the obvious pick, but not that obvious. It seems like And
I guess we
kudos.
were not expecting Green Bay to be this
Oh,
Green Bay.
they're so good, bro. I don't
They
know.
played
I don't know where they
so
came
good.
from.
I mean, I was
Wow.
not expecting Jordan Love to
So many
play
young talent, one
way
or
he played.
two years, some of them, and they're already showcasing great stuff. And this is one thing that I did say about them. I thought that they were not gonna beat Dallas, but I definitely told you this, which was the future looks bright for this team because they have great talent. They're pretty young, but I was talking about future, not future like
Not
future
future next
today.
week.
Yeah, so
I know.
yeah, let's be careful about them because they're dangerous.
Yes. So yeah, I guess that pretty much sums up everything that happened during the weekend. Very exciting weekend, and I cannot wait for what's expecting
Oof.
for us next
What's
Saturday,
coming
next
next
Sunday.
weekend is gonna be.
Dude, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be
God,
awesome.
I love
For
this
me,
time of
this
the
is
year.
the best weekend of the year in terms of NFL. We're gonna have the best of the best playing
Against
in
each
four
other, yeah.
different matches. So again,
Yeah,
as
you
I said it
cannot
before,
miss this. You cannot miss this. We're gonna have predictions coming
don't
in the next
miss it.
episode, and yeah, we'll see how we go about that. So stay tuned for our predictions. Next episode is gonna be coming on Friday, and yeah, this is kind of a special. Now that I think about it, a special type of twist to this schedule because normally we come at you on Mondays, but due to the games being on Monday, we decided to bring you the episode on Tuesday. So when you're watching this, probably gonna be Tuesday. Um, so yeah, next week, I mean this week, later this week on Friday, we bring you the predictions. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, after that, we're gonna be watching the games, and we're gonna
That's
be
it.
enjoying because it's
And
gonna be hell fun.
that's it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very, very, very fun.
Oh my god, I can't wait, brother. I can't wait. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much for all the support. If you're still here, again,
Subscribe.
subscribe
now.
to the channel already.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep repeating this every single time. I
And
need
if you
to
love
subscribe.
sports, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, we
That's
talk
it.
about sports. We're gonna bring you all of the news. Today we focus a lot on NFL because obviously it brought a lot of action. It was the main attraction this weekend. But every episode will bring all the action about sports, NBA, other sports like hockey, baseball, getting closer and closer to that spring break. I mean spring
Training.
spring break. What am I talking about? Spring
Yeah.
training for baseball, so it's gonna
UEFA
be
Champions League is coming as well
Champions
in
League.
February.
By the way, Real Madrid, or do we say it in Spanish or in English? What do you guys want? Real Madrid or Real Madrid? Because it's the pronunciation changes. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, what we saw in that game yesterday as well, Barcelona got crushed
Yeah, Barca.
very bad.
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on. They're gonna have to rethink things and hopefully make a better run
We'll
next
see how
time.
it goes during the Champions as well.
Yeah, and during the season as a whole, because they need to clean up that mess somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk about all of those sports. So if you're a sports lover out there, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You like our videos.
Let
you
us
comment.
know
Yeah, any topics you want
also
us to cover.
What do you
Let
want us
us
to
know
cover?
because we're paying attention.
Formula
to those
One.
comments.
It's also coming in March.
Yeah, we have a lot of sections that are coming that we're planning already where we're going to be uncovering and unveiling some interesting sports and situations that you might not be that aware. So we are going to try to educate ourselves and at the same time maybe educate you about new sports as well. So yeah, if you're interested in expanding your knowledge about sports, also stay tuned and subscribe to the channel again.
Yeah.
All of that is coming your way.
You're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna enjoy it. Of course, this is what we love. But
Yeah.
you're gonna enjoy it.
100%. So thank you very much for all the support. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Stay tuned for the next one on Friday. My guy, you already know what it is.
Thank you.
See you
See you.
and peace.